Leo in Asia. Not a terribly popular character, especially in recent years, but Ao to practice for this matchup. I want to say he played against you, actually. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, he runs Leo on the side, apparently. But this is the matchup that we're looking at. 134 sets versus 277. Set win percentage, 76.12% versus 63.38. 24 versus 55 tournaments. Man, that tournament win percentage, though, that's a hell of a stat, dude. That's a hell of a stat. 41.67% versus 5.45. And the ELO, courtesy of Pun Life, thanks again for these stats. 1911.62 versus 1731.99. But we saw just that pass set, right? I mean, Richie, that was a close-ass set, dude.
That was very close-ass set.
Very close. What was the name of the Leo player from Japan? He used to wear the suit all the time.
Kuro?
Yes.
There's Kuro.
Yes,
There's also
yes.
Masa, who was Leo for a little bit.
Masa again.
Masa.
I guess I want to say Masa probably has been going around character select screen a little bit more.
He's always known to be like the multi-character
sure.
guy, but Leo was always a staple of his roster when he played in ICFC, I remember.
Yeah, he's cheap. Masa, you. There was a couple other players that he suggested that he played a lot of sets with to prepare for this matchup. So I don't know about the unfamiliarity point that some people are talking about, but the key question that I had going into this was like, how does Richie look in long sets like this? And seeing his approach to Shadow, now I'm like, how's he going to treat Ao, especially with this character selection too, who I'm thinking about it, man, like Kuni's approach, but also with the way Ao plays with just the keep out and the keep away, it's going to be harder for him to chase with Leo in the same way, I would say.
I want to see how he's going to approach this offense going into this, because it's not going to be easy, especially versus a player like Ao. But we've seen how he kind of like geared up his offense versus Shadow, and it took those few games for him to get there. But I think these guys are about to get into it. We got Ao versus AyoRichie, Asia versus EU. This is about to be a good one. I can't wait to see how it goes. Remember, first to 7, $500 on the line, and a lot more because of that Matcherino. Shout-outs to AV. But here we go. The Kunimitsu versus Leo.
Another question, is Richie warmed up now?
I feel like he's warmed up now.
He
But the thing is, he was still dropping combos even in the final game of that set, right? So hopefully he's got things together. I think he's on the other side of the setup now, right? His head-to-head setup. So we'll see if that plays any kind of factor. I don't think it will.
Damage.
But is Ao warmed up is the real question.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we're at like a weird angle, but I've been watching him watch the games from the doorway.
Okay.
All this hop kick to deny any further pressure after the Engetsu.
Beautiful. That was the setup.
Yo!
This was the other question, too, is the mind games, especially in compact ranges like this where they're going to be fighting a lot, I think.
I'm thinking that AyoRichie is going to be a lot more comfortable for sure going up against Kunimitsu. There aren't going to be those situations like in the last set where his moves are just whiffing on his opponent with Safina's low stances. You know, of course, Kunimitsu has set, and that's going to be more of like an offensive tool that Ao's going to use, and that's going to be kind of weak to what AyoRichie likes to do. He likes to throw out those keep out uppercuts, and if he can catch that timing on when Ao likes to do his incoming attacks, then that's going to be a big problem for Ao.
That's true, too, especially using the set feints as well. That's going to open them up naturally to a lot of what Richie likes to do in those situations.
Yeah, and right now Richie is hitting buttons at the wrong time, though, right? Ao's catching with a lot of delays, and this could be a problem if he's unfamiliar with the way that Ao's using Kuni.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about, right? Like this kind of mental battle there at that range, especially when you factor delays into the equation.
You know, I do feel like, look, I really do hate fighting Kuni, but I really do. But the Kuni set, like if you get that long set, at least you get an opportunity to pick up on the player tendencies a lot more. I feel like it's still harder versus Ao because he's a very patient player when it comes to like poking and getting in the range to do it. So that's why I really just like seeing him play with the Kuni overall. But I'm interested to see how AyoRichie finds his way around it. Oh my gosh, multiple whiffs.
Like you were saying, Steve, the option wheel rotation and how that plays out over the course of a long set. That's going to be really important here. We saw how big it was in the last set. Engetsu blocked. While setting for 1+2. Push towards the wall. Jab straight. Setting up for the low. Richie trying to lock down here.
2-2.
2-2. And again, space control
Get
for
it out of
space
here.
control.
Final round, game 1.
Oh,
There's the
space
versus
control.
the uppercut collision that I was talking
To
about.
challenge that against set 2, though, is so wild.
It is risky, but if you have some idea of when your opponent might throw out that forward 3, it's worth a shot just to, again, represent it and make your opponent think about it.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
The spin on the wall. Nice block. AyoRichie.
Al will do it. He will take those risks, and if you know that about him, it's going to be a lot easier to commit to those blocks even when you think that it's so bad, it's so risky to do so, knowing who you're up against is half the battle.
Hey, we talked about this before we even got into the games. You said this specific. You was like,
I'm not
Ayo,
surprised.
he said, Al will take those risks. Like, he will take those risks. But I also feel like this goes so in hand with the long set. You're going to get these tendencies down, and by that time, you're going to have to switch up that game. AyoRichie needs to be careful because I feel like this long pace kind of like game really does give Al the space to kind of adapt way more freely than these 2 out of 3 sets, first to 3 sets, you know.
And now immediately swapping, of course, Infinite Stage here. Anakin, I wanted to ask, though, are there EU Kunimitsus? Because I'm not familiar with any big-name EU Kunimitsu players.
There are some that you'll encounter on your way to the ICFC EU top 8, but there aren't really many that are in the top 8.
Yeah.
Those heavy hitters, you know, we got the Super Akumas, the Sethis. None of those guys really use Kunimitsu. It's more about just like those landmine guys that you will face on your way to the top. So
Right.
I think high-level world-class competition, there aren't that many, but just getting those reps in and training your eyes and being familiar and having the muscle memory to just deal with some of these moves is already good enough for Richie.
Dog, they are swinging.
Like Anakin said, he'll do it. He'll do that too. Come just while standing threes at max range like that. And obviously with the threat of Engetsu as an ender like that, just to be able to get that extra chunk of damage like that and reset back in the mid-range, he'll do that. Testing with jabs, 2 through space control, just blade swinging. Please don't try to step it.
Man, I hate Kunimitsu.
Bro, it's one of the most annoying. I was talking to AyoRichie the other day, and he was like, bro, how do you even break her throws? Like, it's so hard. I was like, I thought it was just me for the longest time, but it's just, like, it's so annoying.
There's also 2 other situations after Manji kicks, the kind of option wheel rotation there, but also after falling hail, when she gets up close to you and does the little flip kick like that. Watch what Al does. Sometimes he'll just come up with a while standing 3. Sometimes he'll just go mid pressure.
Man,
The
Richie's
second time.
defense.
That's the second time he's went for that to try to close out the round, and Richie was like, nah.
Richie's he's a young man, dude. He's got some reflexes still.
He does.
I remember when Al used to be the young kid, right? Now he's a little bit older now.
That's right.
He's the seasoned veteran.
I'm telling you right now, I saw Al before he had like chin hair, and now he's got like a little dirt on his chin, a little stubble. I'm like, man, my man is actually becoming an adult. This
He's
is
like
crazy.
15 now. That's
Right?
crazy.
When the mix-ups are coming from more traditional positions, like whether when you're standing and you go for mix-ups when you're crouching, as opposed to Zafina, where it's this stance, this transition, that transition, it's a lot easier to rely on your defense, and it's a lot easier to showcase that if you're AyoRichie.
Bro, the block. And look at the damage off the while standing forward punish there. That was huge, especially with Rage.
Off to a rocky start for Al, down 2-0 already.
On the Infinite Stage where it's important for him to win too.
Yeah, 3 rounds straight there. So yeah, I'd say Richie's warmed up.
Yeah, I know how you say.
Maybe Al, on the other hand, still trying to find his footing.
Yeah.
Still trying to adapt to that international play style, that European style of play, where it's just a lot more technical, at least compared to the U.S. players. The U.S. players will just go for it, mix-ups. But EU, they might not have the luxury of having, you know, certain mechanics, and they'll just rely on their knowledge. They know a lot about the frames, they know a lot about their characters, and with Richie, that's especially the case.
On Richie's side too, you brought this up earlier talking about Golden Letters. Something that stood out to me about his performance at that event against like you guys and Joey was like he's very confident, very cool, very collected. So even though he played a losing set just now like that, he knows he's warmed up, he knows he's still in it. Like he doesn't seem broken or anything like that. He's still playing.
I was real curious about that, right? Because he had to play the first set, loses the first set of the day, and it's back-to-back immediately afterwards.
It's very easy to get like mentally guard. You mentally guard break yourself for something like that.
3 for 3 on the blocks. He literally, the last 3 rounds, he's tried to close out with that big full crouch, and literally every time he's blocked it.
But now we're going to see if later in the set, Al starts hitting with the while standing 3 all day, right?
That's where the option wheel rotation changes, and all of a sudden now the Yomi comes into play here.
You knew that he was mentally tough when it was 6-3 and he was fighting back game after game against Shadow. Now with the lead in his hands, you know, he's a lot more comfortable.
1-2-2.
Really
2-2 gets the float here.
See what AyoRichie's about here.
Screw into set 4 ender.
Oh,
What? That was kind of sick, though. When you accidentally jump and you use the full crouch afterwards.
nice
Block.
block.
From max range,
Get
like
off
that,
of me.
that
Deep
set
block.
low is a little more safe.
Oh, what a sidestep. Double what's in your wallet. Let me get in there.
Shadow to block both of them.
Super dominant, super dominant so far by Richie. I did not expect that. You know, I wouldn't have been surprised to see AyoRichie get off to a 2-0 lead, but the way and the manner in which he's doing it is really eye-opening.
He's so confident right now. He threw out all 3 hits of the string again, and Al did not deal with the 3rd hit again. Last time he was countered by it.
when you're not dropping combos and your mids and your even sometimes lows are whipping straight up on a point-blank opponent, you can really just buckle down and focus on what you need to do and not have to worry about things just not going your way, catching unlucky breaks like it was in the first set.
Offense.
Down 2, down 1, looking for some lockdown here. Uppercut from Al here. And gets it.
Get up attack, stops the pressure. AyoRichie trying to steal his round, trying to steal his game. What a duck.
We haven't seen a lot of just defensive, super outright backdashing out, like we talked about. AyoRichie is doing a good job of keeping the distance kind of close between them, so he's within striking range at all times.
Yeah, I think that's one of the shining. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so now it starts.
Set dash while standing 3.
That was something that really came into play in the Arsenal Ash set against him
again.
last year.
Yeah.
One thing about being the guy that's always willing to take those risks with the sweeps and the lows is that your mids and the things that you use to mix up the lows are going to be that much more potent as well.
Yeah, Richie wants to win this set. He needs to get this game out with the hop kick.
It's not good to see. This is kind of a common theme for what we saw last set, where Richie would go up 2 rounds to 0, and it's kind of just give the game away 1 round at a time. He has a chance to kind of fix everything that he did wrong last set. Anyone's game right here. Al, unfortunately, just outside of rage. Wish he would have been in it. All his
Richie did nothing.
He's looking for something.
He's hesitating.
Safe. He's looking for something. He's wanted it down 4-2, though.
I mean, he should have then. He's hesitant right now, man.
Hey.
Okay.
But he's got the lead, so it's smart to play that game.
One launch into the rage. Al went for it.
He went for the mix this time, right? Instead of the low, he went for the big mid. And Richie up 3-0 to start it off here with versus Al.
Okay, wait a minute now. Wait a minute now.
We said anything could happen. What if we were saying? Just what if AyoRichie just beats Al? And remember, this is every game matters in the round robin format. In the event that, let's say, Richie beats Al, Al beats Shadow, then we look to the game counts to see how many games you won in your respective sets. And if Richie can put up a very, very impressive score here, kind of maybe shut out Al or just limit him to just 1 or 2 games during the win, that's really going to help him out in a tiebreaker, potential tiebreaker situation.
Oof. Half-life gone. Uh-oh, it's starting to snowball.
Al picked it up last game, though, for sure. He picked things up a little bit.
I'm really interested to see how, like, that's one of my favorite things about this. I want to see his adjustments throughout this set. Like, I really want to see what he changes up, especially against a player like AyoRichie, who seems like he's got, like, something for every situation at this point.
That was something interesting that I thought someone said that when I was talking to people about this event. It's like, you had some people who were like, yeah, I think I'll win, whatever, right? But Peklas was immediately like, actually, I think in this kind of format, like, it's going to really come down to how well Al can adjust his mix-up and reading his opponent's habits. Because he said straight up, he's like, I think Al's a little bit mentally weak in this kind of scenario, actually.
This is a situation that would really start to affect Al's mentality.
It'll weigh on you. It'll definitely weigh on you in the long game where you know you got to win. And this kind of goes to what you guys were saying before. You can go down, 2 or 3 games, still be in it. But if you don't have the confidence or, like, the mental strength to, like, fight that back, it can easily look like you already lost. And that'll affect your gameplay heavily. 4-2, yeah.
I always like looking at the player cams, seeing what the reactions are when things don't go their way, when they lose a tough game, what they're looking like, how they're feeling. And
2-2 again.
I would say so far Al
Get off
has
of me.
not.
Time up.
Okay. Al still looks like he's focused. He still looks like he believes in himself. You know, sometimes he can be really animated, you know, flying back in his chair when things happen, you know, face palming, hands in his face. And haven't really seen that so far from this guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's used to this situation, which is like a big difference between, I think, the European and North American counterparts. You got to remember, Topanga League is based around long sets, right? First to 7 or first to 10 if the set gets extended. So he's been in this situation before.
Back turn mid option. Quick sidestep once again. Trying to open up the lows. Great whiff punish there. Power
Back
crush.
to
Again, I feel like Al started to
Blue stuff. Oh my God! I did not know what was going to happen. I saw like the both kicks. I was like, who's doing a while standing for?
started power up last game, almost made the comeback, and followed it up with a very strong and impressive 3-0 performance that game. And right there, reviewing some of his notes maybe against this matchup and some reminders. A lot of players are doing that these days. You know, it can be hard to keep your head in the game and to keep in mind all the points and all the notes that you have on a player when you're playing, and especially when the match itself starts to kind of take place. things might change, and you kind of start to forget about what you need to do. And for a lot of players, how to solve that problem is to just have those notes right there on standby.
Write that down, man.
I've never ever seen you look at notes on your phone during a set. Do you do that?
I don't do that. I think a lot of, for me, it helps to just keep it in my head. And, yeah.
It makes you keep thinking. Like, it makes it so you never have to go, like, defer to something. You're like, yo, I need to do what now?
I think I'd be able to process it better if it was in my head as opposed to taking the phone, picking it up, unlocking it, going through the notes, and then thinking about it. But, yeah, everybody's different, so there's no right or wrong.
Some dudes are just old, man. They got to write it down.
Yeah.
Damn, you call him Spiro old, man? Guy's got a whole book.
Shit, I'm talking about myself, man. I write shit down all the time.
I should write shit down.
Want some Nicholas Sparks shit, bro? I got the notebook.
I get so curious to see what like the notes are when guys got their notes, and especially when they got those journals.
Yeah.
You see all their handwriting scribbled up in the paper. You're like, I wish I could see.
You take a look and be like, I'm bad.
Right.
They never want to show you either. They're very, very protective of their stuff.
I asked Itabashi Zangief once. I was like, bro, what is this? He's like, oh, they're notes on the other players. I was like, oh, like legit keeping track of notes.
This dude is ass.
Yeah, right?
Don't forget, this dude is ass.
It's like varying degrees. My man's super ass. Like
Ass level 3.
Bro, they are swinging. This is like a very defiant match. Nobody's everyone at disadvantage is kind of like just mashing get up kicks, jabs.
Richie took us to Souk after losing the game, and it's working out pretty well for him.
Oh, no break.
Grab the rage behind it.
Last chance for Richie.
Ooh, the step in low.
Started off really well for Richie. He had a chance to go up 2-0 again, but couldn't close the door on Al, who made the comeback. Now they're tied up.
They swinging, too. Look at Richie just running up, getting in there.
And like you mentioned, on this stage, this is when Richie has the win. With punish.
Worked so hard to build that 3-0 lead. Would suck to just lose it.
Especially when you end up losing a game on this kind of stage for your character.
I think Kunimitsu is great.
I was literally about to say, Kunimitsu on this stage, you're going to the wall after any launch. You might not hit it.
My
You
God.
might not
Max
get the
range.
damage, but the positioning is always going to be like, oh, you're right by the wall. Like this, right? Like, oh, you're right by the wall.
I mean, both of these characters, Alpha, any touch in mid-range, right? Like, they can just carry so easily. It's built into the combos.
Yeah, and both their rage drives so effective with walls, too.
Finally see set 2 coming out. Richie has had very good defense against back turn overall today.
Yeah, very good.
So far. Spooky talked about it in the video, right? Al has a favor towards the back turn low stab. Richie has scouted that early on here.
He got caught by the mid that time.
Yeah.
First time we've seen that combo that whole set.
Richie on the back foot.
Back 2.
Get off
Grab
of me.
break it.
Running 3?
Tried to sidestep.
Not enough damage.
Adding
Richie has a
up.
chance.
Blue stuff is there. Blue.
Whoa!
What
Pick up off the wall.
Yo, Richie goes straight into the rage. What the?
You expect to get hit by both hits, you know? So you're not tech rolling
Caught
there.
Al sleeping on the job. Didn't tech roll, and that was a little pickup reset there. Very technical stuff from a man like AyoRichie.
That's cheap.
It is. It is.
Well, you can tech roll, right? But, like, you don't expect to.
He was trying it against Shadow too, but for the first time today, it came in at a very opportune moment when it was for the round and everything. But
Caddy corner, we going wall to wall.
might have been a waste. Might have been all for nothing.
Oh my God, you're
Oh
dead!
my God. 2-3 out fighting back. But I mean, you mentioned it earlier too, right? I want to say against Shadow, when Richie was in rage and he was scoring a lot of while standing 4-1+2s. In rage, that shit does a huge chunk. That's like cheap as hell, bro.
And then in Tekken 8, they're like, we should make that heat engager. Like, it wasn't good enough, you know? Let's make it better.
Let's make it a heat engage. You know what
That way
really
it can be a
get
full
people
combo
going?
start, maybe.
Well,
you know?
it's like, to me, it kind of brings up a bunch of questions about this character in general, because when you can observe stuff like that and you say, damn, that is just huge value. When your while standing 4 comes up with that kind of like damage value and then the knockback too, like, she kind of operates in this weird space with where Tekken 7 has developed in terms of character choices and like where we value characters. It kind of just makes me reevaluate that.
I mean, think about it from the player perspective too, though, right? Because if you're a Leo player and you're like, I have this powerful while standing 4, maybe I should duck more for these random lows because I'm going to get such a big punish off of it.
I mean, and if you look at how AyoRichie uses while standing 4, like, just uses it as a general poke, like, yo, stay back, stay back, and then looks for the confirm to get the hit. Magic 4, let me get that wall, though.
Sideways.
I like that. Being aware, drops the combo, takes the position in instead. Nice jab right there.
1-1 spin. King K low.
Set 4-4-2. This better be close. Oh, better be careful. Rage drive.
Getting the full crouch sweeps here. Rage drive. Center stage. Gotta be careful,
My
Richie.
turn.
The blue stuff. I'll take 2.
Haven't seen too many of Leo Rage Drive be effective today. AyoRichie's
long
Your
distance.
uppercut, my uppercut.
Right?
Mine's
Did
farther.
you forget?
Oh, she cheated. She got weapons. She got codes, bro.
Half life. I'll take half.
CD1.
Dead talk.
Wall
So-
pressure here. And again, Richie with the defense gets back turn.
In that situation, you eat the mid, you're already at the wall. It's not the end of the world.
now starting to settle into the set here. He's picking up on Richie's timings, knowing when to throw out those hop knees, those keep outs, and everything else in between.
Set feints now. Trying to see how Richie reacts. He's got an uppercut maybe?
As a result, Richie's throwing out a lot less attacks. He's sitting on the back foot, playing defense now.
Yeah, a little bit more hesitant to throw stuff out. You see him fishing with some mids here. Kind of just poking him in range.
I mentioned earlier, that is the out game plan. Stall you out, play defense, make you kind of give up on yourself, and then he starts to break
Counter
you
him.
down.
Full commit to the full swing.
Get over there.
Hey,
Big damage.
Uh-oh.
Low parry.
Should be death, right?
Oh.
who said that?
Messed up his combo, maybe?
Richie, you got a whip punish, bro.
Down 2, back that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God.
KO final round.
Oh my
game
God.
6.
Let's go. Oh my God. That was sick. Slow-mo double KO. Oh.
CD1, 2-2 swings here.
The guts of AyoRichie, though, to
Launch it.
commit to the string.
Let me get that wall.
Gotta make it count now.
Let me get that wall.
Maximum damage. Went for the cross-up after, but puts himself into the wall.
Yeah, I don't like that crossover.
Is that a costly mistake? Al starting up now. Just one wall splat, like that.
Oh.
Can he close
Big
out?
moment here.
Leo and Rage. We saw the
stuff.
big Rage drive earlier this game. It would seal the deal.
Watch the wall.
Hey.
And it did, but not for who
Not
you thought.
for
Not for who you thought.
Richie.
Yep.
Not for Richie. He held on for it for a little bit too long.
He's still
and-
holding on to it.
Yeah, he's still holding on to it. He does that a lot. And I don't know, he's usually the one that burns it because Leo's Rage drive, you just want
It's
to throw
so
it out.
good,
It's so
yeah.
reliable.
Yeah, I mean, it's fast, too.
It doesn't
Yeah.
whiff,
Wall's there,
it's fast,
pressure.
wall. And Al's the one that showed Richie, like, yeah, when I got it, I'm going to use it.
Pull the trigger.
And on top of
I'ma
that, I
make
bet
it
you that
count.
was part of the thought process. It's like, I know he's going to try to use this now, right? So you turn up the pokes, you start going for the low so you won't get hit,
And we're all tied up 3 apiece.
Sometimes overthinking it is a bad move. You kind of just need to do it.
Down 1 chops.
The right answer might be the right answer, but if you're slow to the trigger, it might end up being the wrong answer.
Bro, they are playing compact right now. Fighting in a phone booth.
That one hurt, though. If you're AyoRichie, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Manji again. Manji kicks.
Oh,
Good.
whiff punish. This is going to put Al in the rage, I believe. Yo, tried to get the wall. Watch for the low. Yeah, my man was literally holding for it. He's like, yo, I'm trying to get away from this corner.
Round 2. Fight.
Little jabs. Trying to keep AyoRichie honest right now.
Counter hit again. Big reward here at the wall.
Oh, no.
55% just like that. Manji kicks, and again, you can see the option wheel rotation changing for Ao, too. Last time he was like, all right, I'll do double Manji kicks. And this time, Manji back off. Time before that, he comes up with a while standing 3. Crouch jab and the step in low again.
This is a fast-paced game. You got to
Yeah.
be ready for everything at all times.
2-2 swings. Finally a sweep 4-4-2 after. Low stab works out. Richie down 50%, casually down 50%.
Great option right there at the track.
These low highs
Both
paying
this
off a
way,
little bit.
back into the matchup. Both players not even. Out with slight life lead.
Set feints. Manji kicks that time. Nothing.
Ooh, I got one
Uppercut,
too.
Max range.
Same as last round. Uppercut punished with an uppercut. For Richie, though, it's been about just finishing your plate, closing out the rounds.
Oh,
There's the
and,
sweep. 4-4-2.
Is he going to
That side roll is so
Chip.
dangerous.
Yeah.
It's going to give it away again.
And you saw, like, Al literally sidestep to the left. He's like, I know what's about to happen here. I'm going to chip you out.
Kinky low strikes.
Okay, gonna get a combo off of this. And positioning
Yeah,
with the
wall pressure.
Oh, he's dropping off the easy part of the combos, too. That's something that
Could have had him.
you hate to see. A lot of the drops from Richie have been, you know, the hard stuff, but there you just
Oh, you gotta close this out. You
Uh-oh.
gotta close this out, Richie.
Cooney 50-50 time.
low.
Oh,
got me
time! Oh my God! How do you sleep after that, bro? I would have been like, I can't believe he did it. I can't believe him.
Yeah, Richie going for the sip of the water. Need it right after that. Probably left his mouth a little dry. Oh
The
my
sliver
God.
drop for the win. Oh.
That's the first time this set that sequence has had the payoff that it had. Just
Yeah.
Usually, Richie throughout the set so far has had really, really good defense against that
It's
situation.
all been
also.
the clutch low blocks.
Yeah.
And he thought it was one of those situations right there where he was going to be like, I'm going to get this clutch low block.
Yeah,
It's going to
well,
be predictable. But
Finally, the rotation.
Yeah.
There you go.
I know we were talking about, like, you know, the 5 most used moves, but I think, like, general understanding is, like, Tekken characters, they got a good 10 moves that you need to keep in your offense at all
Yep.
times. And rotating those is probably, like, the most pivotal thing you can learn how to do in the game. But once you fight somebody that understands that well enough, too, you got to go deeper into it, especially with these longer sets. And you start to see it just a tad, so I like it.
I mean, we saw it at the end of last set, right?
Yeah.
Like, some of those are key moves that they just kept sealed the whole damn time.
Yeah.
And then just last game, all right, here we go. Oh, I'm finally going to do an uppercut.
importantly, it's about how you put those moves together to
Yeah.
create the perfect game plan. If you're just trying to replicate Ao or replicate any player, you're just trying to use those 10 moves.
It doesn't work.
It's not going to work unless you do it in the same way. You make sense of everything and
Gotta
kind of
understand
understand why they're doing it.
What do they say? Context is king, right? Like, if it has to work within the flow of their approach to the game. And Getsu again, just another free chunk off that grounded fire slash.
I like the option to go for the tracking.
Like Spooky said, the set 2 to open things up here. Grab just outside of rage as well.
Richie is the one opting to go to infinite stage here. I think he's realizing that the walls, particularly on Sook, the smallest stage in the game, those situations have been costing him. You know, he lost one to Chip. A lot of the comebacks have happened when his back's to the wall, so he's switching things up. Respect it.
Oh.
And it could float out a falling hail like that, but it's difficult to convert off of.
Dude, just holding forward. Yo.
Will.
4-4-2.
4-4-2.
Still alive. Oh, put a block. Oh, my God. Running 3. Watch for the low. Oh, my God. He didn't get the kill. This dude, Richie's ridiculous.
He went for the reset, but he didn't get the reset, and Al was ducking, so he still got him to mid.
Yeah.
Like I said, he just throws that while standing 4 out there. Like,
He
yo,
would
what
have
are you
killed
doing?
anyway without the
If he-
reset.
2-2 slashed and back dash.
Oh. Yo,
That was-
what
that
a
was
back catch. Oh, my God. Oh, but he dropped a combo. That's going to cost him. And
Both
another
players.
okay, wait a minute. They're being generous. Oh, trade.
He can still get the pickup, but he did the wrong move.
Okay, finishing strings, getting the hit.
Oh,
God,
my
yeah.
gosh.
Is it happening again,
Is it happening again is a good question.
Oh, man.
guys? It's happened for the
Richie,
last
you got to close out.
3-4 games now.
Oh,
And it's not enough just to get off to a 2-0 lead. We actually need to see him do it one time. Finish his play, win a game. Needs it now more than ever. Otherwise, it's going to be 5 straight games for Ao after dropping the first 3.
nice block. Okay, big launcher. AyoRichie needs this. Still at the deficit, but he is in rage.
This
Okay.
is his dash up.
Oh,
Oh, just the tip.
big damage. Duck.
Nice.
Not dead. Oh, so got set 3. Oh, my God.
He will do it. That move is
Won't
launch
he?
punishable. And,
Yeah.
you know,
But it's a mix with set 2 when you're going to die, right? It's 50-50.
is it happening, guys?
Oh,
Wow.
again. The pace that Al is playing at
2
right
rounds
now
in a row?
really has AyoRichie on the ropes. He's got to slow this down. He's got to take back the momentum.
Jab float, nothing after.
What's it
Grab
going to
and
be,
sprint.
though? Like, what's his comeback strategy in this situation with the health bars the way that they are?
He's got to slow it down, man. I feel like that's really. Oh, no.
Interception, and then, yeah.
I was gonna run up
I was
and
just
just
gonna
do a
run.
low
Gonna run. Down.
the perfect 5-3 now. Al in the lead over AyoRichie. And Richie started off 3-0, and now Al 5 games straight.
I mean, we were talking about like his mental, but like I'm gonna tell you right now, look at how Al is like adjusting to some of this. Like he's literally like pumping the brakes a couple of times. He's like, you know what? Like I know that he's gonna try to take back this momentum. Let me see how he's gonna react.
I think he just wasn't warmed up, man.
He
was
stuck to his
watching
game
those
plan
games.
too. He's still taking those risks. He's still gambling, and you know, in the beginning it wasn't paying off, but he just kind of told himself, it seems, that let me just stick with it. At some point, you know, the returns are going to come. It's going to start paying off eventually. This guy can't hold me off forever. He can't block properly forever.
Yeah, he's believing in the natural RPS development of it.
That's what I was worried about. You know, when he got off to such a great start, you know, I was feeling in the back of my mind like, at some point that's got to change. That's going to have to turn, because it's hard to just be 100% right all the time. It's damn near impossible.
No duck attempt. Got him in trouble last time. Wow. Off the sidewalk.
Quick full crowd from Al that time.
Okay.
Delayed
Just
hop kick.
raw.
Okay.
Wait for the extra credit.
And
Didn't
slowed
need
it
to.
down. And slowed it down. Like not as much offense. He's like, you know what? Let me chill a little bit. And I feel like that's one of the better strategies versus Cooney. Like you don't want to go in. You need to understand what your opponent's going to be going for. Because I feel like Cooney really is good at annoying you, thinking that you can actually do a couple things.
Got to slow it down, but not to a complete standstill. Got to find that perfect balance of playing good defense, but also keeping your opponent out, and then taking your opportunities when they're presented to you.
Leo down
Nice.
ones.
Oy.
No full
Early
conversion.
Jab, early jab.
Good sign, though.
The 1-2-2s, the Maji low kicks.
You know, he's starting off the games really good. He's always winning these first rounds. You know, he's winning the first rounds all the time, winning the second round as well.
Great
But
butt punish.
things just fall apart once Ao decides to start taking those risks and throwing caution to the wind.
And Richie's combos are still so strange, right? He's just doing like combo up to a screw attack, and he's like, all right, whatever.
He's got so many routes that are just getting tangled up now.
And I think what he's doing in a lot of these instances is like he's trying to keep this space because he does not want like Al to be playing in the backfield where he has to guess to come in where it's a set or something like that. So I do like this approach, and I feel like it's working out.
So in a 3-man round robin, though, if AyoRichie loses the set, it's done, right?
For him, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
For
still
him,
got
yeah.
$500 to give out.
No, for sure, yeah. I was saying he's out of the running for the grand finals.
he's out.
Uppercut and return fire. The low high, scoring some chip damage here. Slowly chipping away. Richie's still in it. Again,
block.
while standing for 1+2. His back turn defense has definitely been in his favor today.
Okay.
Commits to sweep.
Okay.
What a block.
Commits
Okay.
to sweep and return.
Okay.
Yeah. Richie stopping like big bleeding. Dude, he was hammered. That was like 5 games straight.
Get a
Blood was
doctor
gushing
here.
out from his ears.
Sir, he's bleeding profusely. We need to get a tourniquet in here. No, I'm just kidding.
We need to get a tournament in here.
怪盗国光参上です。
5'4", a lot more manageable than 6'3".
I mean, we saw this in the last set versus Shadow, so like it's not like he's out of there, but it's, you know, keeping that same momentum going further into the set. That's the hard part.
I'll rush straight into the rematch as well. He didn't really consider going back to Sook, where he had so much success.
Hey.
Granted, it was Richie's pick originally, but it was Ao who kind of made the most of those walls and those closed spaces on Sook. Our pickup afterwards, and he's dropping a lot of things he normally would not drop. I've seen Richie hit that conversion in his sleep. It is really hard, and I get with the pressure on the line and everything going on.
1-2-2.
Oh
Hey.
my goodness.
First one of the set.
That's one of Richie's classics right there.
Trademark.
You
Round 2.
want to set against me with that move, right? I ain't never
like
gonna
how
forget it.
I was watching it last night. Actually, I was like,
Brought
yeah, when's
back
it gonna come out?
Painful memories.
That's kind of what we were talking about earlier, though, is Richie is really good at being able to read opponent habits and to take advantage, and that's one attack that he can always put on the table to be able to do that, especially with your press habits if you're really bad about mashing jab at certain points or certain spacings.
I'm right back on the Richie bandwagon if he wins this game, man. 5-5.
I want to
Just-
see him win it.
Just the best of 3. Yeah, it makes the third set a lot more interesting
Exactly.
if he can get that.
Set 2 again. Out pressing here.
Oh wow, he did that.
Is that a back turn? Some big whiffs here. Everyone just outside of range.
Just about 15 seconds left on the clock. AyoRichie at the life deficit though.
Richie has to chase here. Down 1. Down 1.
if you're Cooney,
Oh my God, he held it for that long.
I was thinking if you're Cooney, you're doing either down for 2 hop kick or back 2. This is my choice I was going with. I didn't expect him to do the hop kick though.
I was definitely thinking back too.
Nice.
Oh,
Set 2.
backs up a little bit. Oh,
Again?
Twisting around.
and I felt like that's why it was good for him to play that a little further out because he didn't have to worry about the defensive options of that as much.
Back 2.
Oh man, but that set 2 is really mileage.
Fight.
Richie, we need this game. He's a little bit more punishable than he's getting. So far, so good on the start. But with Richie, it's all about how he's finishing these rounds. He's been giving away a lot of opportunities back to his opponent.
Wow, the movement.
So Richie wants to be up close. He wants to be nearby.
It makes me like cringe every time I see him dash forward.
Yeah,
I'm like, he's
I'm
gonna run
worried.
into a down 4-2, bro.
There's down forward 2. There's set 2.
Yeah, and he's already got hit by a couple of. Look, there it is. There's a couple of them.
Wow, the movement is so good from Richie there, but again, he's not really punishing. He's baiting out whips.
A lot
He's
of
not
time
capitalizing.
has passed. Not much time left at this pace. It might come down to a timeout situation.
Oh, he finished the string. Life
Careful.
is still in favor of AyoRichie.
I was about to unload everything he's got. He's got the lead now.
Richie!
He's got the lead now.
Oh.
He needed it. I mean, he was either rage drive or that sweep. That was the mix at that point.
Tough to handle.
Big exhale right there by Al, too.
Yeah, that was an important block from Al's perspective. And now he's on game point to win the set.
You need a lot of time to work with when you're trying to make these comebacks. You don't want to leave it down to the last 2 seconds, 3 seconds, when it's obvious that at some point you're going to do the low. And it's a lot easier for your opponent to play defense in that situation. So
And I feel like we've seen that a couple of times today, not only in just this set, just like, those.
Shadow's really good at it.
What in the world?
That was actually looked like a setup.
Yeah.
Something they could duck under. A lot of players instinctively would probably try to punish with a jab there. Richie catching a break, didn't fall for it completely.
Man, Richie's still stuck to the infinite stage here, huh?
Definitely found more success on this infinite stage than when he played a few on Soup.
Any stage with the wall, I felt like his Owl plays a little different on those. Like, obviously he knows, like, I need that positioning. Wow, catches him swing. Kuna to get the end of the combo.
Those full crouch mix-ups from Cooney became much more of a factor once Richie's back started getting closer to the wall. He had less room to backdash and had nowhere to go. It's something that he had to deal with head on. And I was getting a lot of sweeps, a lot of mids as well off. That gets kind of taken away a little bit on the infinite stage. Time's running out though for Richie. He's still very much in this. I think he really, really, really needs this round though, so it's got to happen now.
Oh, no. Delay hop kick might have actually worked there.
2 lows in a row, chipping it down. He wants to get it to where one launch could kill, and he's right there
It's coming.
right now.
That one launch you were talking
Neither
about.
player has rage.
He's fishing for an uppercut.
Richie would love to get the uppercut off.
They both want him.
Get off of me, lady.
10 seconds.
Get off of me, lady.
Good
Hands out of my...
defense. Something's got to happen. Richie's down a little bit.
I said no.
5 seconds, Richie.
Ow, trying to burn clock.
gotta go now, Richie.
2 seconds.
Oh my God.
Set point.
She's a ninja. Of course.
Yeah, yeah. She's a ninja.
He scrambles, man.
Oh my God.
Richie's got to play the game of his life now to stay alive in the ICFC Championship. Needs 3 straight rounds. This is a good start, but such a long way to go. It's been so hard for Richie to put together 3 good rounds in this set. Such a heartbreak to see, man. Because I know he could do it. We've seen him.
It's
come
not
back
over
from
yet. It's
so
not
many
over yet.
obstacles. It's not over. It's not over.
Round 4. Fight.
Good.
Could have been worse.
Now, string knowledge, awareness.
Okay, going more to the pokes right now from Richie. Going back to this slow-paced game.
You're going to chip it down here. Neither player wants to take a big risk. Could be the end for Richie. Now doesn't want to throw away a golden opportunity to lock up $500 and a trip to the finals.
Oh,
And that.
the low parry. It's not over yet.
One more
Man.
chance for Richie.
Last chance.
Wait a minute.
Last hit. Al loves to just go straight for the low here.
No, sir.
Set 2 to close it out. 7-4 in favor of Al over AyoRichie. But, man, that would, especially with the start that Richie had, for that to end up that way, that's crazy.
He was looking mad strong at those first, like the first outset of the set, man. He was looking very strong. I mean, and Al with just the turnaround when it came to after those last few games, he was like, you know what? I think I got a feel now. Let me play this game. And it really wasn't like he was playing crazy defensive. He was really just in the striking range where Richie wanted to strike. He was trying to like counter poke him, just didn't work out.
It was what, 5 games straight after the initial 3?
Yep.
Yeah, that was, man. Good stuff to Richie though. In both of those sets, he kept it. I don't know what to say, man. After playing that first set against Shadow with the way that went down and the way it played out, I don't know too many people who could have like sat down in the second set and played like that.
And he started off so strong after that Shadow set, right? So it wasn't like he was phased from that first set at all. Al just, you know, he looked like maybe he wasn't warmed up. And once he got rolling, I mean, it was basically 7-1 after those first 3 games.
Oh, man.
It was tough to watch a lot of those games. Kind of similar theme from the first set against Shadow, where Richie had this lead, and a lot of times these players just closing it out. But you know, he probably overthought a lot of these situations when he got up. It is a big moment. It is a big tournament, and he kind of just gave these games back slowly, bit by bit. And a lot happened that set. They were going back and forth, and we're going to take a quick look at the replays brought to you by Kwanba of AyoRichie versus Al. You know, again, it started off really, really nicely for Richie. He had all the clutch blocks for the set. He had all the full crouch mix-up reads. And I think once it went to this stage, once Al took that one game and he went to Souk and played about 3-4 games on this stage, and those matches were close. They were very, very close and competitive.
No, we were saying like how like this stage kind of works out for both of the characters, right? And I'm sure like Richie was like, well, look, this is good for me because I'm gonna have these walls at my disposal. The thing is that like Cooney, oh my God, the double KO and the
slow-mo double
Jesus.
KO.
But just in any situation, like you guys pointed out, if she would get you to that wall in any instance, like just the poke game, I feel like from Al, like that's where he's an expert at that. He's really good at keeping you on your toes.
In hindsight, Souk was the turning point of the set, really.
Yeah.
And it was really just because a lot of the bets and payoffs that Richie was getting in the first 3 games, in Souk, he was doing those same things, but it was Al who was getting the return from him, and as a result, get advantage from that wall that Richie was looking to get in the end, but it just didn't work out that way.
I understand that Richie wanted walls, but I don't know if it necessarily had to be Souk. You know, he's a player that he's not a super rush down pitbull type of player. You know, he likes breathing room. He likes time and space to think about what his next move will be. So, you know, it didn't have to be Souk. It could have been something a little bit bigger, like the robotics facility could have been a lot of those stages, maybe even the Geese Howard stage, where as the game goes on, the stage gets bigger. But, yeah, that's going to be that for AyoRichie today. He is eliminated from making it into the finals, but we still got a lot of business to settle. There's the results, the scoreboard so far. First set we opened up today, Shadow versus Richie going back and forth, but Shadow at one point started pulling away, and it was just too big of a deficit to come back from. And it was a similar theme in going into the next match. Richie started off 3 straight, but Al quickly answered back, getting acclimated into the set with 5 straight games of his own.
It's crazy.